everybody. I'm Kelly Ellers.
I'm Jeffrey London.
And this is Volume Up by the Tease. Here we are, Jeff. Guess what?
What?
something
Oh,
just popped into my mind. That was aggressive. I was on a podcast this morning and I was the one being interviewed. How fancy.
I mean, now you know what it's like when you did it to me. How did you feel?
Well, it was the Beauty Pro podcast with Christine Sherwood, and she is just a riot. Like, so like warm and loving. I mean, aren't all of our pros? I mean, it's just like
yes. So she wasn't grilling you about your work?
No, she was not. No. She had some really good questions and we laughed a lot. And I also shared with her, she asked how I like zen out. She's like, 2 companies, 2 kids, whatever. Like, how do you? And I, again.
Oh, no. You didn't talk about the birds.
I did. I did.
Bird watching.
And now I think it's just like I'm publicly outed on 2 platforms.
Yeah. I mean, you have outed yourself. So you've got no one to blame but you. Looking right at the mirror.
It was
but good for you.
And
maybe you'll help others to embrace birding.
Honestly, I was like, try it. Seriously, try it. We were also at a company happy hour 2 nights ago, and I was trying to convince the entire table to just take a minute. Like, just take a minute.
Wow.
I also outed myself that the other thing I've been loving the last like month and a half, and it's twofold. One, it's some fitness, I don't know, and the other one, it's like spending time with Hudson. But my husband got me an e-bike like 2 Mother's Days ago, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? Like, I'm not doing that. And then Hudson was 2 months ago was like, hey, you want to go for a bike ride? And I was like, what? I'm just gonna dust this off. And it is fantastically so fun. Like,
really,
Jeff.
Because I'm at you like pedal a little bit and then you like
and then you just fly on it. And so he's actually pedaling the whole time. I'm going like 20 miles an hour and he's keeping up with me. Jeff, it's so good.
Wow. All right.
So I encourage you to try both and report back. Have you ever been on an e-bike?
Never.
Are you never. Jeff? You would.
I've seen that. I mean, the Bay Area is too many people have them, which is kind of why I like.
Well, right. I mean, it's like peak nerdy, like peak. And I just want to say, I don't wear a helmet because I can't go that far. No, I'm not doing it.
Kelly,
I'm not doing it.
Oh,
so if it's ever an RIP for me.
Oh my God, it's the e-bike. Are you at least going off like?
We're on trails. No, we're not on the road. We're not on any roads. I mean, what am I gonna do? Hit a rock and go fly? I don't know. I'm knocking on wood right now.
Don't jinx.
Every single other rider has a helmet on.
Not you.
Not me. Not this girl.
Ruin the hair.
This hair is just flowing in the wind.
Yeah. Just 20 miles an hour. Wow.
So anyway, next time you come to Madison, we'll do this together.
Hop on the e-bike.
Let's get to some other things that aren't me, but are annoying the hell out of me. And that is the fact that Taylor Swift is back. Why? Couldn't she give us all a break? And Travis Kelce, God.
So I will let you speak your piece, but I will say, so I'm not a Swiftie. I think we've established this.
Yeah.
I've come around in a lot of ways to respect, the
hustle. I mean, yes,
and putting
the enterprise.
So like I'm there. I'm not delusional.
Right.
I'm happy that she's getting whatever she's getting out of this. Living her best life with a tall guy, but I don't need to hear from said guy, like literally ever.
We didn't even know who he was before.
Yeah, I don't want any bit of it.
Why does he deserve that shoot?
Because he's the boyfriend of, right? Like, is he a good athlete?
I don't know. Like,
I know he's. I mean,
it's like his brother was a player
his brother.
Too.
I will say, protect Jason and Kylie at all costs. They're the ones that are the MVPs here. They can talk all day. I'd listen to either one of them. Don't want to hear
from him.
At least one of that pairing. Yeah,
And to ask again, is he a good athlete? I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes on the team, the quarterback, is the best athlete on the team. So like. Does he deserve the spread? Like,
you could tell me anything.
Yeah, I know. This is way out of your league.
Yeah. So
anyway.
I mean, we're there. I will just reveal a little bit of the sausage being made. our senior digital producer is telling us that she wishes that it had been revealed on Kylie's podcast. And I will say,
Oh,
I too would have
right.
preferred that.
Same, because you
I
wouldn't have to
did
hear from
not
him.
exactly. Oh, I especially didn't like the two of them together. Like if it were
Oh,
just she were there, and I know like the format is the brothers, and
yeah.
I don't know. I don't didn't like
Did
it.
she do that though to like raise his profile? Like, what was
Probably.
the end
She's
game
nothing
then?
but charitable. I feel like that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
she's yeah. So I just wish she wouldn't inflict him upon us.
Ugh.
Separately, I don't know that I love the creative direction for. So, okay, I'm gonna say it. There was a tweet a couple months back, and it was someone saying that Miley Cyrus is who you all wish that Taylor Swift were. And I
Yes.
think I still stand behind that. And
Hmm.
Miley did just do the whole showgirl thing. And
She
she
did.
did have that song on that showgirl movie in which
Hmm.
Pamela Anderson was. So I do feel like there's a little bit of, I mean, like,
Oh,
certainly it's not like clout chasing because she doesn't have any
yeah.
clout to chase like that. But there is something about like she pulls from this, like, I'm saying nothing unique. Everybody knows these are critiques
Yeah.
that I think are well established. But I will say I'm not thrilled.
Because
And the
it's
wave of
everywhere.
social media I
Ugh.
don't know if it's deserved. Certainly, I don't know. I don't even know. It's inexplicable, but also it makes total sense, right?
I
Like,
mean, Jeff, but the fucking Empire State Building changed their goddamn
I
color
mean, every
for it.
brand changing out their
What are
logos
we
and the
doing?
yeah, because
I mean,
life of
she's
a
gonna run
showgirl.
for president next is happening, so
Mark your words. You can we can pull back this clip
yeah.
for a couple of years from now when that's.
Hmm.
I mean,
Called it.
Yep. Wow.
She was almost out of the news cycle, like almost out,
Almost. I think that
and
that's
bam,
no,
hit
but
us
that must
again.
be the strategy. That
Yeah.
must be it, where it's
You're
like
right.
she gets to the very fringe and then boom, she's back.
Boom, we're
Um,
back.
I
God.
will say again, I'm not a hater. I can appreciate it to an extent. I'm looking forward to seeing what this music is going to be. The glam photos, cool, cool, cool. The I think where I lose the thread is all of the like Easter egg hunting stuff and the videos of like she's a mastermind and like behind
Yeah.
like for example like these things are not telling any stories. They can
No,
zoom
they're
in on this like it's
and
just
it's not like you're gonna ink a deal with Legos and you've had the Lego flowers in the background the whole
right like
time.
oh that
Oh, he
means
did it.
I mean yeah I you know what I anyway
But anyway, I want to put it out there that I also appreciate her hustle. I think it's absolutely insane. Like she's a machine,
yes
right? So
absolutely
she
there
deserves all the
yes
success. She's a
absolutely
machine.
yes
Um,
irrefutable
and our
yep.
producer also wants everyone to know that she would not like to be lumped into this into this hater conversation. That not everybody at the tease
Yeah,
feels this way.
correct. This
It's just
our
us
views
two
are our
oldies. Yeah,
own.
it's just
That
us.
they don't hold the
Yeah,
team.
it's okay.
No, yeah. I
Sorry
mean,
about
I feel
that.
like there's nothing more that we can say about what's happening in pop culture right now. It is truly the only thing
Right.
that people are talking about right now. So there's that.
Let's get into
Yeah.
our celeb photos of the week.
Yep. And
Please
none of these are Taylor Swift.
no. Please follow along on these looks with us by either checking out our show notes or on Instagram where we post them. And
Mhm.
we've got out the gate Doja Cat. This is our first one. And Jeff, what do you think? Explain to our listeners what we're seeing here.
All right, so we got new era. We've got teased blonde 80s hair, like Rudy, like trailer park.
Yeah, I kind
I
of
think
like
the
it.
trailer park rooted blonde. And we got some deep black into, platinum,
Hmm.
styled beautifully, nice and voluminous. We got lots of
Yep.
curls. I mean, it's giving of that era. So like shout out to the team for that. I would imagine that this is Jay Stay Ready, Jay Henderson,
Mm.
because he's been doing most of the artwork or most of the appearances of late. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling this just for like the aesthetic of it all.
Yeah.
I know like Doja Cat is also problematic in different ways. So there's that. We're not commenting about her for all of our
No.
listeners that we lost when we talked about Taylor Swift. But yeah, so big and blonde. I'm gonna give it like a 8. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you 8. I love it. I love the imagery. I love the look. And I like a Rudy trailer trash blonde. I
Hmm.
do. I think
I do
it's kind of
too.
hot.
It's
Like,
very satisfying. I mean, this is the whole like Pamela Anderson who we were
yeah.
just talking about, but like that look is back. So yeah, I'm here for it.
Next up, we have Jennifer Affleck, and she's not related to Jennifer Affleck.
Nope. Or
Jennifer
any of
Garner,
the
I mean.
Afflecks.
Tell us about this little number.
Okay, so we're watching in this video, it's a transformation. And we are a much deeper brunette with some extensions by
Hmm.
our friend Jessie. Yeah, like a deeper, darker, sort of
Yeah.
raveny color.
It is.
What do you think?
I love it. I like that you said it was kind of like a raven like color because I love the dark hair. Obviously,
It
I have
really
that
suits
hair.
her.
I mean, it suits her. I think it's
Yeah.
beautiful. And I love the transition. And if I could go that and platinum back to this, I would, but then I never it's just too hot. I can't. It's just too much. But I like that she can do it.
Yeah, I honestly, just having watched this now a few times through and had never seen
Yeah.
this before, I much prefer this color to the color that she walked in
Yeah.
with
It's
the original.
rich.
It's so
Yeah.
much kinder to
Yeah.
her. But this, I think, I mean, I recently saw, you're gonna think that I'm into the mom talk. I'm not. Okay, so I saw recently that Taylor, the sort of main girl,
Yeah.
posted something about being a Utah 10, and she put on like
Oh.
a crusty blonde wig and
Oh.
that what I'm trying to say is that Jen walked in looking like a
Utah 10.
Utah 10 and is coming out looking like an actual
10.
10.
Oh,
So
wow.
there's
That's lovely of you to
I'm
say.
being very kind. I think
Yeah.
this is like a
It's a nice look.
it's a like a 9 for the color transformation.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right, next up we have Ice Spice.
Hmm.
And what I'm seeing here is kind of a side shot, some long, nice layers, almost to her waist in a beautiful coppery.
Her signature. Her
Yeah,
Ice
I
Spice
love it.
orange, I think. Is that not?
Yeah,
I
it
think she calls
is.
it that. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah. I I mean it's a departure. I mean she's
Yeah.
sort of known I don't know. I take that back maybe. She goes back and forth between wearing the sort of like really curl
Yeah.
into this like longer look. This is a little
Mhm.
bit maybe peachier,
It
softer
is
than
peachy. Yeah.
the copper that she's been sort of known for, which is a bit of a departure. But yeah, center parted, as you said, layered, sort of loosely Farrah Fawcett-y
I
with
think it's a
the
nice style, nice cut. I think it looks great. I'm gonna give it a 9. Yeah.
it's super fucking flattering,
Yeah, I
honestly.
mean, it is.
I'm
It
gonna give it a 9
softens
too.
her look. I mean,
Yep.
it's skin tone, everything.
Yeah, this copper, it's not going anywhere. Even this peachy thing, I feel like it works on
Well,
like
we know
almost
now it's not going anywhere. Loop up to the top.
October 3rd, baby. Yeah, no, we're not going to be sick of. We're not going to escape it. We'll be
Oh,
sick of it. Orange,
no.
orange. As always, we've got this week's top stories that you need to know about. Let's move on from our celebs, shall we?
We shall.
Something that is even maybe more controversial than Taylor Swift's return to pop culture is what Elf has been doing. So let's
Do
set the
tell.
stage. There's a recent campaign, and in it stars comedian, and I'm using that loosely, Matt Rife. Matt, who's been famously, I think, pretty openly canceled for a number of things, but not least of which a domestic violence joke, which we're not going to repeat, which seems like a miss for a cosmetics brand that whose majority consumers are women and or yeah so uh, this is tough, this is a tough one, and he's playing a lawyer.
Yeah.
It's just so yeah,
It's not a I
it's
don't
not great,
yeah.
and so
No.
not great in fact that Elf has come out and apologized because they've been dragged to hell for this campaign, which leads me to just posit that
Yes.
maybe this was intentional.
Yeah.
So how do we
Right.
feel about that if it were the case that this was done intentionally, to really just dredge up some salacious stuff? What's your
Well,
POV?
I mean, I'm 25 years into the marketing industry, right? And
Uh-huh.
agency side. So you know that some agency, let's just say, or internal was like, let's try this." And somebody goes, "Yeah." But but how does that resonate throughout the organization? Like the CFO is okay with this. We're okay with this hitting the line this way. The CEO's
Yeah.
like, I think this. Let's just give this a whirl, see if it works. I mean, I think they probably should have stuck to their cheeky Jennifer Coolidge type of
I was
vibe.
gonna say, I mean, the baby dolphin has not
Yeah,
done
I don't,
them wrong, and that
this
was
is
like
such a
quirky enough.
departure.
It's a big one, and like the earned media that you're getting as a result of this campaign, these people are not going to convert on your
Right.
product. So we've got all of this attention, and it's doing damage to your brand. Like I can't quite do the math on why anybody
Well,
thought this was the way to
I
go.
know. And the New York Post reported it that they're like somebody was like, why didn't one person be like, I don't think we should partner with somebody who makes jokes about domestic violence, considering probably most of our audience, I could assume, is female.
Yeah,
I mean, and why
yeah,
would that be attractive to
yeah,
it's so
yeah,
far leaning
yeah.
that I don't know how it got through all the layers, essentially, at this huge organization. And a very
Yeah.
um yeah, I don't know, strange.
Yeah, it's
Losing
a
touch. They've lost a little bit of touch. Somebody over there
yeah,
has.
someone has
Somebody did.
really, yeah.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, so we're being reminded that it was a sort of loose apology in quotation marks that has been issued because nobody really apologizes properly anymore. This
Won't it
is a
be
weird
interesting?
move.
Are they a publicly held company? Because wouldn't it be interesting to see what happens with like their stock prices or like, like what's the residual effect of this in like 30 days? Are they down X% because people did cancel them too? I mean, that's the risk you run with something like this.
I don't.
Poor
Oh, I mean,
taste.
I'm looking at the comments. This is from the brand. We understand that we missed the mark with people we care about in our elf community.
And like, I don't know the exact, I mean, it's not a prestige product.
No, that's what I mean.
And
Like, I
so,
just, yeah, that's a head scratcher, gang. If you've got thoughts that,
yeah.
I mean, what is, just let us know. How do you feel about this?
This week, we're talking with Carly Zanoni. Carly is a Bay Area native with over 16 years of experience as a hairstylist. Most recently, she's focused on creating a virtual education platform called Blonde Chronicles University, which currently has over 9,000 active members. Can't wait to hear from her. Make sure that you subscribe, rate, and review, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Read the Tease, and send in questions to volumeup@thetease.com.
But before we get there, let's talk Tease Beauty News. First up, we've got an article that I wrote, so be
Whoop, whoop.
kind to me. The headline is Rena Calhoun shares how she brought the prep to K-pop Demon Hunter star Ji Young Yu's press tour hairstyles. Unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard about Netflix's animated K-pop Demon Hunters. Kelly's been living under a rock.
I think
So
I've
just, it's,
squarely
yep,
need
yep,
to crawl
it's
out
her,
from
it's her,
under.
it's
Maybe
her.
tonight.
Yep, all right. Whether it's the film or its many chart-topping hit songs, K-pop Demon Hunters is everywhere. An absolute phenomenon that's catapulting its voice actors to stardom. Take Ji Young Yu, who voices Zoe. Yu hit recent press appearances with the swagger of a real-life K-pop artist, thanks to Tom Brown Fits and hair by Rena Calhoun, whose other celeb clients include Mikey Madison, Laufey, Hunter Schafer, and more. Also, a former Volume Up guest, which I think we should just
Woohoo.
plug. The
Hmm.
tease connected with Calhoun to get the lowdown on these looks, and she generously shared the inspo, insights, and actual styling tips. Read the tease for more. So, Kelly, there's two looks,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Which of these looks do you like more, and why?
Well, I'll explain them. The first one is called Flicked AF, right? Where you've got kind of a little bit of a flip, but you can go to thetease.com to check it out.
Please.
The other one I love. It's called To Tie For. And essentially, it's like a low-ish pony, sleek, but instead of using a ribbon to tie it, they grabbed a tie, folded it over with the logo out, and it's awesome. I love
So
it.
good. So
It's
good.
so good.
Go to
Nobody has ever
thetease.com.
done this, right? This is
No, no, no.
crazy.
She's
I love it.
honoring the actress's Korean heritage. Like, there's so much more to it.
So
So go to
good.
tease.com, see what that is all about. I also really prefer that, but I liked the
Me
flip
too.
look too. They're both great.
Same.
Rena's the best. There's that.
So talented. All right, Lizzo just went red, and you can get the exact shades thanks to her hairstylist. New music, new look. Lizzo, who's been rocking platinum blonde as of late, switched it up on all of us with a total transformation to a deep red hair color thanks to Jared J. Stay Ready Henderson. Jay tells us the move was 100% intentional. The shift in Lizzo's music from classic pop to more rap has definitely inspired us to play with the bold color choices. When she released her mixtape, I wanted a cool look for her rap alter ego, Lizzie. So platinum was the move. He adds, now that she's gearing up to release more music, I wanted to shift, but still have a big, bold color. And I thought, why not red? LOL. Well, we're definitely not laughing. The color is everything. And Jay graciously shared the exact shade he used for Lizzo. Head to thetease.com for the details. Jeff, would this red look good on you?
I think it would. I honestly
I do
love it.
too.
I
It's
like,
really good.
so we
It's
were just
really
talking
good.
about the peachy copper being a
Yeah.
thing. I personally feel like that would not suit me, but I do like a deep red. I also had this red for a minute back in
I think it'd
my.
be great on you. It's such a beautiful, like light strawberry with a little bit of peach. I mean, Jay literally crushed it. It's so
Mhm.
beautiful. Anyway, Jeff, we've got the formula now. Take it to your stylist. Give it a whirl.
Make it happen.
I need a color on you for fall. Dang it.
I might also need a color on me for fall. As these grays keep coming in, but not
Yeeks.
enough. Yeeks is right. Thank you so much to our contributors, myself included, and editors for this week's beauty news. And don't forget to check out more stories like these on thetease.com.
Now stay tuned for Jeff's interview with Carly Zanoni.
Carly Zanoni is a Bay Area native with over 16 years of experience as a hairstylist. Carly has trained under some of the industry's most respected professionals. Most recently, Carly's focused on creating a virtual education platform called Blonde Chronicles University, which currently has over 9,000 active members. When she isn't behind the chair working, she's spending time with her husband, two kids, dogs, and watching reality TV. Carly, welcome to Volume Up. How's it going?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, I'm thrilled. This is going to be a good one. We're going to get into a lot of stuff in this pod, but what I want to start with is how did you get to beauty? This, I feel like, is for our audience. There's no one way. So yeah, let's start there. How did you get to it?
Yeah, honestly, it's a very probably unusual story, I feel like, or a little bit unique. I was like into hair sort of. I mean, as much as the next person, but I definitely didn't have this like burning passion to do hair.
Okay,
And I went to a year at San Diego State after high school because I just was like, I don't know what I want to do. And I literally was like, this is college not for me, like traditional college. So you know what I want to do? I really want to have a job where I don't have to get up early. This is what's important to me at 18. I don't want to get
sure.
up early and I want to make my own schedule. And I was like, I think that hairstylists do that. And I literally, that was what prompted me. And I enrolled in Paul Mitchell School in San Diego. And then I was like, oh, I actually love this. And from there, I continued to like fall deeper in love with it. But yeah, no reason honestly beyond just wanting to sleep in late and make my own schedule.
So honest, so real. That's a
Yeah.
first. I don't think that I've heard that one before. And we've heard of, so yeah, you were right. So when you're thinking back to those early days, when you're fresh out of school, what was it like? Newly graduated, baby stylist,
Yeah.
making your way in the world. Talk to us about that time. Like core memories when you were trying to like figure it all out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really tough. I always say definitely am not that person that came out of school like, "Oh, I got this." I don't feel that I had like a natural ability to do hair. I
Mhm.
really struggled with color especially, and my confidence really lacked. Like it was weird cuz I was 18, so I didn't know what I didn't know. I was 19
Mm.
when I graduated. Um so I was almost like arrogant about it, but then at the same time I had like no confidence whatsoever. So it was tough. I mean beauty school was great. I actually loved it. I really loved it. And thinking back to I totally fried my hair off. I had many chemical haircuts, like that whole thing. We all go through
Mhm.
that. And then when I got out, it was 2007 and what was popular then was basically people wanted give me a global bleach, but do it in foils. Like make it look like a global bleach, but in foil. So I was just doing highlights and highlights and highlights all the time, which is great. And now I
Mhm.
feel pretty confident with highlights. But then trends started to change and people wanted lived in color. And I really struggled and just every day kind of went to work feeling like so anxious and like I really didn't know what I was doing. So there was a bit of a struggle in the beginning. And I always say it took me like 6 years at least for hair to kind of click and feel
Wow.
like I sort of knew what I was doing. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of anxiety in the beginning of doing hair.
So, how do you think that you built up that confidence? Because I'm sort of taken aback for people that are not seeing my face, and maybe this will be clipped. You are sort of synonymous with really knowing color through and through, particularly
Thank you.
blondes, which we'll get to. So, you're sort of rocking my world. This didn't come naturally to you, you're saying. You feel like you weren't super confident. How then did you build up this confidence?
Yeah, so honestly, I always say like the biggest things that helped me were honestly just time and practice and like
Okay.
doing things. You know, there's a lot of expectation of like right after you get out of school, all these things should just be obvious to you. And it's like, actually, no, I don't care how like instinctually good you are at maybe styling hair, but I don't care who you are. I don't think anyone is born with the natural ability to formulate color and understand the chemistry of hair color. Like, I just don't. So, you know, over time, like obviously practice. And then
Hmm.
what really ended up helping me was really getting, and I say this all the time, and this is kind of what my education is built around, but really getting some core things like core placements and core formulas and relying on those and not thinking that every appointment and every client had to be this huge, like, makeover, blah, blah. And when I really realized that I could simplify things and I really got down to the basics of like, okay, a horizontal foil does this and a vertical foil does this, and let me actually utilize that and base my placement off of it, it became a lot easier for me. So repetition and just going back to basics and something that was really predictable. And I mean, in anything in life, predictability lessens anxiety, of course,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that applies to hair as well. So, you know, it's been a journey, but here we
Well,
are.
and thank you for sharing this journey. I feel like that again, the candor with which you're speaking about this, these
Yeah.
humble beginnings, really important because I think there is a lot of telegraphing immediate
Yeah.
success, expectation of knowing things that maybe you just don't know.
Yeah.
So thank you. Talk to
Yeah.
me then, if you could, because again, so synonymous with like really top-notch instruction,
Thank
particularly
you.
as regards color. So when did the Blonde Chronicles come along? Where was the seed for this? Because I'm sure it took a little bit. So talk to me
Yeah.
about those days.
Yeah, so after about 10 years, actually, I had been doing hair for 10 years. I really didn't have I being an educator was not a goal of mine. And I always say, like people that are just getting into the industry, I know this is
Mhm.
hard to imagine, but independent education was not really a thing 18 years ago. It was if you
Speak
wanted
on
to,
that.
yes, it was like if you wanted to learn anything, you went to a hair show and somebody's like cutting hair with like a fork or something weird on stage that was like that actually happened.
Oh, I
And
believe it.
that it was just it was so not salon realistic. So nobody was doing independent education. Which of course now that has there's a lot of
Flip.
people which I
Hmm.
love. But 10 years ago, one of my really good friends who I went to beauty school with owns a salon in LA, and she said, "Will you come just like teach my stylist what you're doing?" And I was like, I mean, I've never taught a class. I have no idea what I'm doing. And she's like, just don't tell them you've never taught a class. Like, come and just show us what you're doing. And I did, and it was very casual. Like nobody bought a ticket, obviously. And I was like, oh, I kind of like that was fun. So from there, I kind of just small like the salon I was working at that time, the owner said, well, let's do a class here and teach the other stylists.
Hmm.
So kind of like dabbling in that, and then decided I wanted to like try selling a class on my own. And then from there, it kind of just continued. And I was slowly kind of like adjusting my social media content to be more education driven as opposed to
Hmm.
getting clients. And at this point I had been doing hair for 10 years, so I had a
So you have the
decent,
clientele.
yeah, I had a clientele at that point. And then COVID happened. So 2020 I had 12 classes scheduled. I was going to travel all around the US, and I did two, and then the third one I was in Northern California, and literally it was like March 13th or something, the day that everything shut down. And I was like, okay, well, we got to pivot now. And I had this idea of doing an online subscription, which
Hmm.
at that point there was not a lot of them. Now
Correct.
there's a
Yep.
lot,
Dime a
but
dozen. But at the
yeah,
time, nope.
right. So I was like, well, now I have time to work on this. So put together some very crappy, like very low quality videos that my assistant had just taken, and they were like on my iPhone. They were all like 3-minute videos, 4 minutes, and my online education platform, BCU, Blonde Chronicles University,
Mhm.
started as a private Instagram page. And I launched it knowing no idea what I was doing. I had no clue. And I was very lucky. It was great timing. And people were at home wanting to learn stuff. It started as $10 a month. And I posted one video a week and then kind of just grew and I adjusted, went to an online platform. So it's been a journey for sure. And I'm still figuring it out. Honestly, there's tons of stuff I don't know, but it's been great so far.
If you could, and I don't want to beleaguer this because there's lots of other things to cover.
Yeah.
What have those pivots been like? Because as you said, like you struck it at exactly the right time. You had the time that was available to you. You had this inkling that you were gonna, and then from there, it's obviously built. It is a
Yeah.
different thing now than when you started. Along the way, some growing pains, some iterations that you want to chat about because I find it to be fascinating. I know you only through the Blonde
Yeah.
Chronicles University, so from the
Yeah.
outside, it didn't look like things were sort of being built as it was going.
Yeah, no, it was definitely, well, thank you. That's a huge compliment because inside I was like, I have no clue what I was doing. And also, kind of that imposter syndrome totally crept in, where I think everybody who educates feels this way. And if they don't, I think they're lying. But at some point, you're kind of like, why does anybody care to listen to
Yeah,
me?
what?
And I just kept going back to like, but I would have wanted to know this stuff. Like this would have really helped me. So, it started as just like I said, I was like, maybe this will like. I literally was like, maybe 100 people will join. I don't know how this is gonna go. Again, it was a new model, and then the first weekend, like 700 people signed
Oh,
up, and
that's
I was like, okay, this is like more than I expected.
Mhm.
So, obviously, I think I did a year having an online thing on Instagram, a private Instagram page, and I started to realize well, if my Instagram ever gets hacked or something, all this content is gone. Also on Instagram, you really can't search for videos. It's very limited with what you can do. And then of course
Mhm.
they changed everything on Instagram and the video limit is like 15 minutes. So I kind of thought, okay, I really have to pivot now. And my husband who had worked in real estate he is really good at kind of all the stuff that I hate doing, to be honest. And
That's
so
great.
he helped me pivot and launch. We now use Kajabi, which is a platform that is built for education, stuff like this. And it was really hard though, because like you think there's this glamorous thing about a subscription, like, oh, you get recurring revenue every month. And yes, that is wonderful. And that has been amazing. However, you don't think about the stuff like charging people's credit cards declines,
Mhm.
people like have complaints about this or that. It's very much like customer service to an extreme degree. And so that was a big learning curve and just figuring out I was my time was being sucked by doing all this admin work that I hated
Mhm.
doing. So we actually changed and my husband now we work together. He works full time on BC with me and he deals with all that stuff like the back end stuff, the website and I just get to
Wow.
do what I like doing. So many trends along the way and I'm still making pivots. Like things change in the industry and I have to adjust to what people want. So and I think one of the major things too that I'm noticing now is other things outside of subscriptions, like small little guides sell really well and little things
Mhm.
that are quick and to the point. So I'm always pivoting, always trying new stuff.
That's a good lesson for our listeners. When you're stuck, I
Yeah,
mean, you can sort of make a change, and it could be a small one, and it can make a huge difference. One
absolutely.
thing though that is a mainstay of your approach has been foiling. So you mentioned this before
Yeah.
you were even thinking about education, and obviously now with BCU. If you could, for those that are
Yeah.
maybe in the dark, that are not following you on Instagram and TikTok, walk us through some of this foiling work that you've perfected for some of our listeners, if you could.
Yeah. So one of the main things, like I said, that I focus on is just finding, I call them core placements, like 2 to 3
Hmm.
placements that you can rely on. And of course, everyone's head is a little different and everyone's
Sure.
inspo is a little different. So
Yep.
it's not like necessarily a one size fits all. You have to make some adjustments. But I found, like I said, that when I had that reliable placement, it helped me so much. So one of my favorite placements, I call it smart blonding, or like I call it my favorite medium impact placement and it's for those clients that want to be lived in. And it's basically just a really effective way to take them quite a bit brighter all over in a very minimal amount of time. And what I base this off of is really going back to the basics of, okay, horizontal foils are going to lay more like sheets of blonde. And if I place them kind of going up the head on top of each other, I'm going to get a way blonder result than if I do a mohawk with 10 foils, you know? So kind of going back to the basics on that. And the one placement I love, and I probably use on literally like 80% of my clients, no kidding, is this smart blonding placement. And it's really just like 30 foils, and they're strategically placed, and they all have about 1 to 2 fingers width distance apart. Not to get too like technical
Mhm.
here, obviously nobody can
Let's
see
turn out.
my placement, but it's just really simple. And we add tip outs if they need more brightness. We don't add tip outs if they don't need a lot of brightness. But going back to that and not reinventing the wheel at every with every client is gigantic. So for me, with every foiling placement, I'm always thinking about, with every foil, I'm like, do I need this foil? Like, how can I work this so that I don't have to do tons of foiling? And it's honestly not because I'm lazy and I'm like, oh, time is money. I hate that phrase, because really it's always quality over like quantity,
Mm.
truly. But again, like for me, when I started doing hair, I was taking like 2+ hours to foil everybody, and I was so exhausted at the end of it. And honestly, I didn't love the results. So
Mm.
now I am like, what can we do to make this quicker for everybody? The client doesn't want to be sitting there for six
Nope.
hours either, and still make it really effective. So after kind of going through a lot of trial and error, I've come to this placement that I love and rely on. So it's definitely one of my favorites.
Ooh, ooh. I'm not a colorist, but I'm very interested in this. And I think
Yeah.
that those that are going to be all the more so. If people are, again, living under a rock, they're not familiar, how can they access this content now? As we talked about the
Yeah.
different iterations, where can they go? And then obviously we're going to get to some other stuff, but I want to make sure that we can do this.
Yeah, no, so my Instagram has a ton of videos. I'm at the.blonde.chronicles on Instagram. And that there's like a ton of free content. Like if you don't want to pay for anything, I completely
We gotcha.
understand.
Yep.
And there are videos on like a lot of content there. The next thing you can do is I have a couple of free master classes that kind of touch on that placement I talked about, and just talk about some other important things about being efficient. And all of that is in my bio. And then if you want to learn more about BCU or like my placement guide, all that stuff is in the link in my bio on my Instagram page.
Mm. Perfect. Glad that we were able to
Yeah.
do that. Now, again, as your Instagram handle and your online university suggests, there's
Yeah.
infinity to blonde and to blonding. Um,
Yes.
where does this come from? Had you always been? I mean, again, as we talked about this, color didn't come naturally to you, didn't come
Yeah.
easily to you. But blonding is a big part of your career. So talk to me about, was there a light bulb? You're like, oh, damn, I'm good at this. I really love, like, what was that like?
There's never been that light bulb, to be
Okay.
honest. I'm still like have anxiety about doing hair, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, I would love to be like, oh, I'm so passionate about blonding. It really is just like what I fell into. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, when I graduated from hair, I was doing back to back highlights, and there was no toner. Like, there was toners, obviously, but that was not a thing. People were not toning, nobody was root melting, shadowing. So, I started having clients that I was attracting a lot of like minded clients, right? I had
Mm.
a lot of, at that time I was 19, so a lot of my friends were very young, and they all sent their friends, and then so
Mhm.
everybody was kind of having very similar hair. And while I did other stuff too, which helped and made me a better hairstylist, I was mostly getting clients that wanted to be blonde. So as blondes started to shift into lived in blonde and all the
Mhm.
like root melting and all the stuff, that I was like, oh my god, I have no idea how to do this. That was another moment that I was like, I might have to quit. Like, I don't get this. And so I felt so confused. And that's part of the reason why now I focus a lot on blonding, because there are a lot of challenging things in hair, but I think blonding can be very hard. And the root
Mhm.
melting, you have to get the right shade and you have to tone it right. And like all these things can go wrong in blonding. So my passion totally lies in helping other people lessen that anxiety, because I know what that feels like when you go into work and you're just like a ball of anxiety about what's going to happen. So I wish it was like some crazy cool story, but honestly, it's kind of just like what I fell into and what I got a lot of client requests for.
I'm loving this because, again, these conversations do not always go this way. There's some posturing involved with some
Right, right,
some
right.
folks, and honestly, like this has been very refreshing. So
Oh, yay.
appreciate this because they're not always Like
Thank
this.
you. I like to be honest just because there is that idea, and social media sometimes makes it seem like this, where you graduate, you have a full clientele. Like if you
Mhm.
don't have a full clientele, you're doing it
What are you
wrong.
doing?
If you don't know how to do all this stuff, you're doing it wrong. And it's just like that is so ridiculous. And the amount of time it takes to actually build these skills is, I mean, I'm still learning almost 20 years into doing hair, and it never ends. So I really like to be realistic about that, because I don't want anybody to quit based on the fact that they're like a year in and keep messing up on placements. It's like, no, that's totally normal. Like
Part of it.
totally normal.
Yep. If you could talk to us about brands along the way.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're working with Schwarzkopf, and we're going to get to that.
Hmm.
What did your approach to Schwarzkopf look like? When was the introduction to that product line? How did you get introduced to Schwarzkopf? Obviously, it's an iconic brand,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean you were always using it.
Right. So no, actually I was not using it really at all. And I had never really worked with a brand. And I think it was probably, oh my gosh, it was w- probably 10 years into my career again. A brand sent me something and I was just like, what? And it was just free product, and
Uh-huh.
there was no payment involved, but I was just blown away. I was like, "Oh my gosh." I think it was Finola purple shampoo, which if you like are
If
a
you
little
know, you know.
OG, you remember Finola kind of dominated that market for a bit. And then I kind of started to be fortunate enough to get sent stuff by a couple other brands, and my Instagram was growing. And actually how I connected with Schwarzkopf was they had sent me a box of Schwarzkopf color, and I had never used it. This was probably, oh my gosh, this was probably like 7 years ago at this point. I never used it, and I was like, all right, let me try it. Again, like super anxious person. Switching color for me is
That's a
that
big
was
deal for
tough.
anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. So I had to kind of like really work up the confidence to do this. So I kind of dabbled in the color. I was like, oh, okay, I like it. I actually tried Blonde Me and I hated it. And I tell this story to them all the time because I had basically switched out the lightener I was using for Blonde Me and went in with like 25 volume around someone's face. I just didn't realize the power it had. And now, of course, that's one of the best things about it. Um, I hated it and I was like, I'll come back to this maybe at some point. And I realized, okay, it's probably user error because everybody loves this lightener. Like, what am I doing? So I
Hmm.
went back, used it on myself so that I did
Ooh,
not
brave.
have any, because, well, brave, but I would way rather do that than
Yeah.
use it on a client. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like
yeah. Yep.
panicking.
Yep.
Used it on myself, adjusted, had learned, okay, I don't need to start everybody off with like 25 volume, and learned to utilize it correctly and properly. And then, of course, now I use it all the time. So that was kind of my intro using a bit of their color. And then they had a campaign they were doing for this color line TBH, which was True Beautiful Honest, I believe, and it was brand new. And they sent me an email and were like, "Oh, come, we want you to come film this campaign." Of course, I'm like, "What is a campaign? I don't even know anything about this." And they said something about like, and the payment is XX, whatever. And I literally was like, thought I was paying them to go, which I was stoked to do. I was like, "Oh my God, of course, like I get to be part of this." I just had no experience
Wow.
with brands whatsoever.
Carly.
So I got to go to LA. It was like this cool thing, and went and shot that campaign. Figured out then what a campaign was, and it was so intimidating. It was so scary, but it was so much fun. So from then, I had the opportunity, luckily enough, to work with them on a couple other things. They invited me back, and I still was dabbling in other color lines. To be honest, I just had the stuff that I knew from other color lines and was
Mhm.
okay with, and then slowly started to integrate in Schwarzkopf, and now I'm like a Schwarzkopf gal. I love it. I would never want to use anything else, but it took me a while to make that transition because it's always scary.
And real. I mean, people
Yeah,
are, particularly when they've come out of school, they glom onto a brand. They maybe
yeah,
don't leave that brand in case unless there's some convincing. So
yeah,
again, appreciate that. Um,
yeah.
if you could, I mean, you talked about the evolution of your working with a brand. You've done various different things. What have been some of the proudest moments of your work with Schwarzkopf?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, that first TBH campaign was huge because uh it's just, I mean, there was some people there that were like huge in the industry. Like I remember Liz Haven was there, and I was like, this is like, I follow her. This is so weird. And everybody kind of seemed like a celebrity to me. So that was huge. And that was a really pivotal point in my career because I just couldn't believe that a brand would like would pay me to come out and do this thing that was so fun for like 3 days, pay for my hotel, but like everything. I was blown away. So that was huge and a very like, oh my gosh, this is the next level of my career.
Mm.
Another cool thing, I mean, there's been so many awesome experiences, but was it last year? I think I had the opportunity to work on a campaign with them that was I got to do Ali Reisman's hair, who's a former Olympic gymnast, and
Mhm.
she was amazing, and that was really cool because she was there, a couple other athletes were there, and that was the first time that I'd ever been around anybody that was like even sort of a celebrity. So that was different, and they had managers there, and it was really cool. And it was a really cool campaign because a lot of it was just not about, okay, obviously these people are great athletes, but it's them telling their hair story. And you don't really realize, okay, this person's a huge athlete, but also their hair story goes a lot into that. So
Mhm.
that was really cool. That was definitely a defining moment as well.
Ugh, I love that campaign. The
Yeah.
hair wound up for a lot of the girls just so good.
Yeah, it was
So yeah,
so
that one
fun.
sticks out for me too. I'm glad that that one popped up.
Yeah.
So the BLONDME hairline has just
Yeah.
relaunched. Talk to us
Yes.
about this, if you could. What sparked the need for this? I mean, as you mentioned, there's been some others in this space
Yep.
that have dabbled in blonde care, perhaps
Yep.
not terribly successfully. So it seemed like it was high time for this to happen. But as an insider, talk to me a little bit
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, so I love it. The first thing that I notice about it is the packaging is way different. Now, I don't want to, and Schwarzkopf, they were the first one to come out and say this. It needed a little update. The
Mhm.
packaging just needed a little upgrade. It felt a little dated.
Sure,
And
sure.
I always think in terms of salon, would I want to display this on my back bar, on my shelves? And at home, I'm thinking for retail for clients, would they want this aesthetic like in their shower? I mean, it's stupid that we think
Valid.
about that, but
No, no,
that
no. But it's
that is the world we live
huge.
in. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think about these things like, do I want that? Like maybe it doesn't, yeah, if it's not the
Totally.
vibe.
Oh my God. I literally go on Amazon and buy body wash based upon the aesthetic. Like, I don't
Yep,
care what it
yep,
smells like. It's got
yep,
to look good in my
yep,
shower.
yep.
So, same thing with hair products. And the old packaging, if people don't remember, is like gold. It had some pink on it. It just
Mhm.
wasn't the vibe. It just, we needed a 2025 reboot. And the new packaging is stunning. First of all, like, I know I'll get into some other things, but the
Yeah, yeah,
packaging,
yeah.
I do have to compliment it because it is kind of like pastel soft colors. It's very satisfying to look at. The shape of the bottle is new. Everything is, I cannot compliment the update enough on the packaging. So there's first thing, I'm like drawn to it. Second thing is they really simplified. There was a lot in the line that was kind of like, who is this for? What do I use
Hmm.
this on?
Hmm.
And now it's so simple. The purple shampoo stuff is in a purple bottle. That's all, like, you need to, it's very simple. And then they have a couple other products in like the bond repair line, and it's very simple. So I would say outside of the packaging though, the like smells in it are incredible. I know that they upped and changed the ingredients. There is the Bondfinity technology and all of that, which is huge. So now not only does it, care for your hair, like look better on your shelf, but you also get a different kind of care for your hair. So I think this is so synonymous with Schwarzkopf because Blonde Me is so iconic. And it's like, well, yeah, duh, you should have the best like purple shampoo. It just fits. It's just a
Hmm.
match made in heaven. So it's amazing. I love it.
If you could tell me a little bit about, I mean, obviously you are a stylist. I'm sure
Yeah.
you were giving them feedback about this
Yeah.
line. Others, likewise, giving them nuggets of information. What do you think was some of the more salient points that they were like, oh, yeah, we got to make sure that that gets worked into this reformulation or the restage?
Yeah. So I would say definitely that Bondfinity technology and making sure that it's really helpful for clients and actually healing their hair. And there's one thing, you can say all day like this shampoo is great for blondes, but if it doesn't really have anything to back that up, it's like, okay, every shampoo is fine for blondes,
Yep,
whatever.
yep.
And not to go like too deep into technical stuff, but basically what the Bondfinity technology does is it kind of creates bonds that bind to your keratin structure, which essentially helps to prevent any breakdown when you wash and clean your hair and chemical process it. Now, I asked ChatGPT to break that down into something that a 5-year-old would understand.
Yeah.
And Chat told me Bondfinity is like a superhero glue that holds your hair together so it doesn't get weak or wash away when you clean it. Which I was like,
Boom.
that is genius. There we go. Like,
Yep.
think of it as this superhero glue because we do all this stuff to our hair. We color treat it, we bleach it, we straighten it, all this stuff. And it really comes down to if we are not taking care of our hair outside of that, not, it doesn't matter how blonde we can make a person, the hair is not going to look good. And the other
Nope.
thing with that is we have to remember we only get a client for like a couple hours every 6, 8, or 12 weeks, whatever. Like what they do in between is so absolutely crucial to keeping the hair healthy. And this is a really easy way. Like I said, it's so simple. Like, here, use the purple shampoo every 3 washes, and then take your nourishing shampoo and use that every other wash. Like, and it's so simple. And it's amazing. Like the quality of it's so good. So that I think was the Bonfinity was like a big upgrade. The packaging I know was a big upgrade. I don't know if they honestly changed the smell, but I think the smell is so fabulous. It's like so clean. I'm a big like not overpowering smell person. I want it to be subtle and smell clean, and they nailed that with this. But yeah, just like such an upgrade on all fronts.
Ooh. Now I want to pop open a bottle of the
Yeah.
shampoo and smell stuff because
Yeah.
purple shampoos have a legacy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Others, to be clear. Um,
Yep.
yeah, look, we're in the middle of summer. It is
Yeah.
hot as hell. People are doing all sorts of stuff. The sun
Yeah.
is brighter. They're going out swimming. They're doing all sorts of stuff. If you could talk to me about some of the assortment, what is best to keep brassiness at bay, to keep hair looking its best, particularly if it's being color treated, lightened, etc.
Absolutely. So I think one of the crucial things is to first we need to educate people on purple shampoo and how to use it and what to use in between, because there is this danger that people that are blondes go home and then purple shampoo every other day and they
Oh yeah.
expect it to feel really bright. And it's like, no, let's dial that back and let's take a moment to educate our clients on, for one, the purple shampoo, because that is, we're still learning about that. People are still figuring it out. So my favorite would be send your client home with, if they're super bright blonde, I would
Mhm.
send them home with the Bond Repair purple shampoo and purple conditioner. And I tell clients to use that like every 3 washes.
Okay.
I don't think there's like a once a week because some people only wash their hair once a week.
Right.
So I like to say every 3 washes. And if you're using it more than that, like come and see me and let's do something else. Because
Honest.
yeah, it's not a case for purple shampoo. And the thing I love about the Blonde Me purple shampoo now is it's a perfect like depth of purple. You know,
Mm.
some purple shampoos are too light, they really don't do anything, and some are so dark that it's like terrifying.
Mm.
This one is so good, and there's a purple conditioner with it that, and there's a mask as well for like a little more hydration, but the two work so well together. The conditioner is a little bit lighter, the shampoo is a little bit darker, and they still make your hair feel really hydrated. So I would
Mm.
send my blondes home with that. Use that every 3 washes. In between, I would tell them use the Bond Repair Nourishing shampoo and conditioner. And if this is somebody with really brittle hair and really dry hair that needs hydration, I would send them home with a mask as well. But I think a very good starting point is the nourishing shampoo, nourishing conditioner. This is my favorite to offer hydration to clients. It's got white tea ingredient and which is an antioxidant. It helps a lot with soothing your hair. It has corn flour, which I was very intrigued by what corn flour is, and this really helps with the shine and brightening it. And then almond oil, which is super, super nutrient rich and really helps with hydration. So they really were mindful of like, what are we putting in this to actually help people? So the nourishing line is perfect. And the best thing about it is that it's hydrating enough, but it's not over the top. For like maybe you have a client with fine hair, or you have a client
Mhm.
with really dense, thick hair. It's very it's super, super workable for any client that you have. So I love that. And then I would send my client home with one of the absolute stars of this line is the Blonde Me purple spray conditioner. It's literally a spray that's purple. And if you look at
Okay.
the bottle, you can almost like see the glimmer like sparkly in it. It's so good. You can use it on wet hair, you can use it on dry hair, and it literally helps to tone a little bit. And that's a great option if a client is like obsessed with purple shampoo and you're kind of trying to like wean them off
Wean
of
them out.
it. This is like a good in between.
You can
So,
indulge in this, but not that. Got it.
yes, like
Yeah.
use a little of this and then we'll adjust. So, those are my like superstar products. There are a couple more in the line, but I think if you want to start your client off with something basic, that would be my lineup. And especially now for summertime, like you said, people are abusing their hair, heat damage, pools, like all that stuff. So that is a perfect lineup.
So if you could about this spray conditioner, and we're hearing
Yeah.
only good things, so I mean, you mentioned using it sparingly in between the
Yes.
the wash cycle of the purple shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah.
But ideal use case, what are clients supposed to be doing? How often should they be using it? How do you recommend? You said it could be for wet hair, it could be for dry hair. I'm curious
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah, so I mean, to my knowledge, you can use it as much as you want. But again, it's one of those things, like obviously it has purple pigment, so we
Yeah,
want to be
so
cautious that we're not like spraying a ton every time we use it because it's probably going to have the same effect as purple shampoo eventually that kind of, if you're too much of anything is not great.
it's
So
yeah, not
I
good.
would say if you are like a chronically blonde, want to be super bright, even if you don't want to be super bright, even if you're blonde and you still like a little warmth, over time, brassiness comes up no matter like if you start out warm, if you start out cool, it's just inevitable. So I really love I spray in a little bit after washing, just
Mm,
kind of generally throughout. And what I actually love to do is spray a little bit on my hands and kind of run it through the ends a little bit because it actually feels like pretty smoothing and, like shine. It gives a lot of shine to the hair.
mm.
So I'll spray it in on towel dried hair, blow dry, and then there have been a couple instances where I've used a little bit on dry hair, but to be honest, I usually keep it on wet hair. Also, I think for clients as well, this is a great option to tell them on damp hair because water dilutes the product a little bit. So it gives them an
Mm.
opportunity to kind of figure out how to work it into their routine without being like scared of it. So the damp hair is perfect for me and I just blow dry it and it's amazing. It doesn't feel sticky, it doesn't feel tacky, which
Mm.
I love. And I think that this is like the superstar of the line. I mean, it's all great, but this one is like very unique and it's really does what it says it's going to do.
I mean, cannot love to hear that because not everything
Yeah.
is as as promised.
Yeah.
But
Ugh,
coming from someone who knows their way around some blonde, this is encouraging.
I love it.
So you talked a lot about the sort of heightened experience of the packaging and how much more aesthetically pleasing it is. Again, a lot of intel insights from fellow pros went into this
Mhm.
restaging. Top line, what can stylists, if they're sort of zipping in and out, not really knowing what's happening with the blonde me care, what do they need to know? What's like the five things that they gotta walk away with?
Yeah. So, as far as products, I would say definitely the Bond Repair Purple Shampoo, Purple Conditioner, get the spray conditioner for sure. And then I would also get your nourishing shampoo. And then I would also maybe just get a nourishing mask so that you can have that option for somebody that needs a little bit more hydration. But I would say, very like on a basic level, again, the aesthetic of it is beautiful and it looks great in a back bar on a retail shelf. And it's Schwarzkopf is like an undercover kind of like their retail products are not quite as well known as they should be. And I love that they're focusing on this because it was time for Schwarzkopf to, take back a little bit of this market space.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I absolutely think that the line is so versatile, which is also what I love about it. Like you could even if you get just the Bond Repair Nourishing shampoo and conditioner, try those, and I bet you can use them on like all clients and really feel satisfied. So it's super versatile. People will love it, I promise, if they just give it a chance.
Oh, I'm loving this. If you could talk to me about your peers. Who else is saying positive things? What are they saying? Obviously we've heard your take, but I'm
Yeah.
curious. What are you hearing on the streets?
Yeah. So on the streets, the tea is that people really like it. I mean, first of all, the purple shampoo, again, we kind of touched on this. Purple shampoo, there's been a lot of players in that area
Sure
and
has.
the history of purple shampoo is usually that it makes your hair feel very dry and
Hmm.
very not good after. So a lot of people would like use a purple shampoo and then they'd have to wash it again with something, it's kind of this whole thing. So Now, I think this purple shampoo, I've heard really good feedback that it's not only effective, and again, the perfect depth of blonde or of purple in like the actual pigment of it, but that it doesn't make your hair feel really gross. And the other option that they have with that purple shampoo that's really cool is they actually have a purple conditioner, but they also have a purple mask. So if you need a little bit more hydration, you're like, oh, my hair's really dry, do the mask. Instead, let that sit in there for like 5 minutes and really give it a little extra pop of purple.
Mhm.
Um, I also think people are really satisfied with there's another product and it's blonde toning drops, purple toning drops, sorry. And this is for I don't believe it's available for retail, but in the salon you can use it. It's little drops that go into a mask and you can use it as like a purple like toning mask for people as well. And
Huh.
this is cool because you can adjust the intensity of the pigment. So that
Smart.
is a great option. And you know what? I don't know if this is manufacturer recommended, but a lot of people like to put the, like if a client buys a mask, they like to put the drops in the mask for the client to like have a customized mask at home. I don't
Hmm.
know, don't quote me on that, but
Hmm.
I may or may have not done that a couple times. So those are a really, I feel like those are really popular with stylists as well because it allows you to customize and kind of really just customize the service for your client.
This is music to my ears. I feel like those that are specializing in blonde that are trying to work their clients through some summer heat related damage,
Yeah.
this is going to be exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really quickly, before we get into our quick takes,
Yeah.
so much of your brand has been around helping others, passing on hard-earned, hard-learned lessons.
Yeah.
Some quick advice for pros that are maybe getting started. You've shared some, but let's just
Yeah.
like sort of synthesize for them. Words of wisdom, advice that you'd like to impart on them as they are maybe advancing through their own career.
Yeah, 100% it would just be gentle with yourself when this, you're learning and really once again, I don't care who you are. I don't think anybody's born with a natural inclination towards formulation and reading a color wheel. So like you might be good at braiding or something, but it's like that is far different than figuring out the chemistry of hair color and learning how to use bleach, which is bleach is not just like, oh, let me like drop someone, it'll be
No.
fine. It's you can really mess people's hair up and it's hard. So my biggest advice is just really be gentle with yourself. Know that it
Mm,
takes a long time for hair to make sense. And no matter what you see on social media, it just really takes a long time to make sense. And so I encourage anybody listening who's kind of struggling with that and like going through anxiety moments, know that I promise, like, I really do think it will get better. I know that's so cliche, but if you feel so anxious, one, two, three, four, even five, more than that years in, and lack of confidence, I think it will totally improve. And I can speak from personal experience. So
yeah.
it's a journey. You got it. You'll get through it.
Yeah. It's an important reminder. I think, particularly, there's so much, as I said previously, posturing
Yeah.
bullshit
Yeah,
that gets
totally.
in the way of real connection and
Oh,
progress.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's such an important reminder. Just like take it easy on yourself, guys. You're
Yeah.
doing the best you can, and if you're not, maybe try to do your best.
Yeah. That too.
Let's be honest with ourselves. If people are not following you currently and they don't know where to go, where could you direct them to if you could be so kind?
Yeah, so head to my Instagram page, which is at the.blonde.chronicles. I'm also the same on TikTok, and you can find a ton of free education there. And if you're looking for anything else, you can click the link in my bio, but it's the-blonde-chronicles.com.
Let's get into our quick takes. These are the questions that we ask of all of our guests. So try not to think about it for too long, and then we'll send you back to crushing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's do it. First question. What's the craziest styling request that you've ever received from a client over the years? One that is like seared into your brain. We're like, what is it?
Are we thinking just like actual styling, or could this be like cut or anything like
Cut,
that?
color, styling, whatever you've got that's stuck in your brain, that's what we want to hear about.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, the craziest request I have ever gotten is I was in hair school actually,
Oh, good,
and
good, good.
oh my God. And like you attract a certain kind of clientele in hair school
Yep,
because
yep,
people are literally paying like $4 for a haircut.
yep.
And I am not exaggerating. And so you get a very interesting group of people. So this woman came in, very kind, whatever, very nice, like very, I don't want to say normal. I mean, what's normal? But
Yeah,
she
yeah, yeah.
looked kind of like my mom's friend or something. And she literally sat down and was like, I want you to shave this side of my head. And I'm like,
Oh,
already, I'm just like, oh my God, what? Literally, this woman, total, like, looked like she was an executive at a company, asked for like the side of her head shaved all the way down on her side, like a half mohawk or something. It was so weird. I mean, whatever, to each their own. But at the
yeah,
time,
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, what are
yeah.
you talking about? Dead serious, just like talking to me like this is no big deal. And of course, I asked, my teacher comes over and whatever. And I literally shaved this woman's head, half of her head. Loved it. Never heard from her again. I was like, that is so weird. And 18 years later, I've not encountered anything as strange as that. It was
Wow.
really weird. She was very interesting. Like, I'd love to know
Yeah,
who this
what was
woman
going
was.
on? What
Yeah.
was happening that day?
Yeah.
All
Super
right. All
strange.
right. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Next
Yeah, I know.
question.
It's
No, no, no.
wild.
I mean, this is why we ask the question because
Yeah.
we get a lot of answers like this. And I feel like everybody's been there. Like, there's that one
Yeah.
where you're like, damn, that they wanted that, and I did that, and here
Yeah.
we are. So that was yours.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
what is your go-to song, playlist, or podcast to listen to when you're working? Or, and we've amended this question. Are you a silent person? Because there are some people that are like, I cannot have any distraction in the salon. Otherwise, like they gotta have complete silence. Or it's the opposite. So where do you fall?
Yeah, so I love music in the salon while I'm doing hair. Actually, the whole salon environment is one of the reasons that I love doing hair. Yeah, I
Hmm.
like being creative, whatever, but being in a salon with my friends and like listening to music and the energy is so good, is one of my favorite things. So I love, like, I actually love Post Malone, so that might be my
Yes.
my playlist.
Okay. Okay.
And then, but then when I get in my car, like, immediate silence, and when I get home, absolute silence. Like, do not speak to me. I need like 4 hours to decompress.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean that again, honest takes.
Yeah.
Appreciating the candor, Carly.
Yeah.
What bucket list item do you most want to check off in the next 6 months? So we're gonna shorten it. If you were able to do a bucket list thing and do it in the next 6 months, what would it be?
Is this hair related or
No,
life?
no, no. Any life, by all
Oh,
means. Let's go beyond.
okay. In the next 6 months, I would love to. Okay, well, one of my biggest goals is really learning to say no to stuff that I actually don't want to do and doesn't bring me a lot of joy and doesn't really spark my, doesn't spark joy. So I actually would really love to dial back the amount of time that I spend on social media. Now that's kind of a broad goal, but I'm going to say, like, this for me is really big because
Yeah.
my whole business is sold on social media. Like,
Hmm.
that is the one thing that sells my education, no matter what I invest in, that sells it the best. So my goal is to be okay with taking off a week from posting and not having like a massive panic attack over that. So it's kind of silly. Like, I don't
No,
know
no,
if
no.
that can be defined, but
No. Yeah, but I don't
yeah.
want to minimize that. Like, particularly, you're in a unique position where, literally, as you
Yeah.
said, you are so known for being an online presence and it having a
Yeah.
direct tie to your bit. So, no, that's huge.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's a goal.
I would like you to be able to disconnect a little bit too, for your own sake.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. What is the current social media, going back into it? What is the current social media trend that you just don't understand? Again, we're chronically online here on the Tease, so I mean we've seen it
Yeah.
all. There's lots of stuff. What's something you're just like, what? What is that? Why?
Yeah, I will say, and luckily I think we're kind of getting out of this, but the trend where people are like talking shit about their clients, I never really understood that. And I can take a joke, like, I laugh with the best of them, but
Yeah, yeah.
um, it's just, I felt like, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing this? And we need to go back to, like, well, I would never go to you because now I'm going to be nervous that you're making these videos
Gonna.
about me after.
Mhm.
And I just think it was a really weird move for everybody to kind of go into this and like red flag posts about clients. It's like, no, I think there was a minute where we kind of forgot that doing hair is a customer service industry. Like, it just is, and there's no way around that. And that is just not necessarily maybe the best customer service. Like, I don't know. It's funny, LOL, but I hope that we kind of like are past that and not doing that anymore.
Again, real takes.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. That's something I think we can all sit with for a couple of seconds.
Some people will hate that I said that,
No,
but
but and others will appreciate it because
yeah,
yeah, I mean, as you said earlier, unrelated to this, but anything in extremes. Like
exactly.
let's dial that back. All right,
Exactly.
last question, and then we'll let you go. if you could have an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life, what would you pick? And this is anything, like in the most
Okay.
abstract sense. So like a lot of people get fixated on like a physical, not physical, it could be whatever you want, whatever insert
Okay.
this thing is that's important to you.
Oh my gosh, that is a good one. I would absolutely say, and this might be too broad, but access to my Amazon account just to like scroll mindlessly. I'm telling you, it takes away. It takes away anxiety. I love it. It's like so
This
good.
is a nice through line because
Oh,
the anxiety popped up at the beginning. We're coming back around to it at the end.
full
Like,
circle. I
yeah,
know. No, you know what? It's just like brings me so much joy, and that's so dumb, but you got to find the little things. And I'm not
you.
talking I buy big things on Amazon. I buy
Mhm,
like little trinkets. I love doing like home decor and stuff as well
mm,
for my house, and I'm just
mhm.
into that. So just finding little things and little bits and pieces, I love it.
Mhm.
And my Target same day delivery. I would want unlimited of that. If I could pick one bigger thing, like those two things, then I would be set. Like I don't have to do anything else.
Wow. Wow. Carly, it was a pleasure getting to know you. I
You
have been a
too.
longtime follower, but
Oh,
it's
thank
always
you.
nice to like connect in this way. And I know that our audience, our listeners are going to be really happy to have heard more from you. We've
Thank
rounded you
you.
out than a couple of minute-long social media videos. So, yeah, no,
Cool.
thank you for joining. Yeah, come back
Thank you for
anytime.
having me.
All right, Jeff, Carly, that was a good one. Great banter. Like,
Living legend. I mean,
totally.
hugely popular, so well known for her color. So it was a treat to be able to talk to her about her experience behind the chair and the crisis of confidence, which was, vulnerable of her to share. And I feel like so
Yeah.
relatable. But yeah, no, I loved getting to chat with her.
All right. Be sure to hit subscribe, rate, and review, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Read the Tease, and send in questions to volumeup@thetease.com.
Volume Up is a Tease Media production. This episode was produced by Monica Hickey and Madeline Hickey. James Arbaje is our editor and audio engineer. Thank you to our creative team for the custom Volume Up theme song and for putting together the graphics and videos for this episode.